guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Reeves Subaru in Tampa, Florida, and guess what? We have a very special car that I don't think that you have seen or can see very often. This is a 2019 Kia Stinger GT2, but this one has been modified. But before we dive into this, let's talk about what the Stinger GT represents. The Stinger GT was really that car when it came out 2 years ago that made everybody open up their eyes and pay attention to Kia. With a lot of their new design team brought over from those German brands, they've been really able to bring a sense of style, but also performance. And at the end of the day, still keep that great Kia value. Now with this being a GT2 level Stinger, that means that this one is fully optioned, rear wheel drive, twin turbocharged fun, but whoever previously owned this made some modifications. So what I want to do is I want to go over the car and really focus on, has this thing been done right? Are the mods the right kind of mods that you would do if you had this Kia Stinger GT? So let's go ahead and dive straight in. So like I was saying, 2019 with the modification, I love the color. The white with the carbon fiber really pops nicely. We kind of drop down, you can see the design, really European-esque. And I think that's what really made people open up their eyes and say, wow, look at that style. LED daytime running lamps, headlamps, and you can see that little swarming, it's like a swarm of killer bees for your turn signals. I have the hazards on right now to kind of showcase how bright those are and how they're all individual. You drop down, here's some carbon fibers. So we have carbon fiber that's been put here. This is one of the mods. This is a functional side air curtain, very aggressive, very large, and I'm telling you, the carbon fiber trim looks very tasteful with the white. Now, as we come across the front nose, total carbon fiber surround on this Kia Stinger GT. Now, the way the grille is designed, this is actually a brand identifier for Kia. This is called the Tiger Nose grille. So it's kind of pinched in the center, elongated out. I like the design with the nice brushed aluminum. This plate right here not only houses the front-facing camera, but also all of the technology for your adaptive cruise control and whatnot. Now, as we drop down, more carbon fiber, and I love the way they brought it to the base of the lower grille opening. Gloss black, looks nice. My only zonk is 2 fake vents. It would have been nice if those would have channeled some air to the brakes, because you know what? This thing has Brembo calipers, which I'll show you in a second. Massive lip spoiler here. This front lip spoiler, all carbon fiber, really balances out well. What's nice is that I'm noticing at the front, at least with my eyes and my taste, not overly done at this particular point. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you're gonna notice some things. There's an actual Stinger badge. I've never seen one of these, and chime in if you have seen one of these or if you know the significance of this design. I don't understand what this design is. It looks like a B, it looks like an E, but it says Stinger right there. That's a little bit of bird poop that I'll just clean off. I'll clean my hands later. Stinger right there. Onto the hood, carbon fiber hood. You have functional heat extractors, which are nice. Remember, the ones on the stock hood are just decorative, so we have functional heat extractors, full carbon fiber. As we come around the bend, we're gonna have a zonk, and I'm gonna show you right off the bat. I'm not really digging this extra carbon fiber piece that was put on the headlight housing. I think that it kind of just clutters it up too much, plus it's kind of peeling up a little bit on the corner here. So take that off. That is definitely a zonk. I would not mod that. Now, when we come to wheel and tire setup, you're gonna notice right off the bat, we're not dealing with stock wheels. These are KMC wheels, nice flat black. Love the multi-spoke design, super clean, and really just overall, it helps with the white. 20-inch wheel. Look at those calipers. I was telling you, those 4-piston Brembo calipers gonna clamp down on that rotor. Now, if you see the rust, that's just surface rust because it's a steel rotor and it's been sitting here in the parking lot. So don't think Kia's rust out. That's not what we're talking about. That comes off as soon as you literally drive down the street. They are ventilated. They're over 13-inch rotors. With those calipers, you're gonna have some nice braking capability. And with these wheels, they look really good. 20-inch wheel. Remember, stock is 19, so that's actually a little larger wheel. Now, as we go down the side, love the beautiful body line, the belt line up here, the black chrome for your functional side scoop here. And then you're gonna notice I'm gonna have Victor kind of zoom in, not only show out the vent, but also show you the badging, that GT2 badge, twin turbo. It's tasteful. I think that they should have used something like that. It almost looks like something that Chevrolet would have put like on the SS. which is their high-performance sedan. Nicely done. You have a large carbon fiber side splitter. I like that. What I'm not really digging is the carbon fiber on the door handles. I don't know if it's real carbon fiber. It's kind of yellowish, so we are going to zonk that. And whatever this is, these little stick-on, I guess it's to protect your door when you open it up. Not really loving that. You have your sunroof. What I would have done was, instead of buying these, we would have went and blacked out the whole roof. I think that would have gave it just a nice, cleaner look. But we keep working our way back. I'm going to zonk this little extra stick on here. So that's another, those are things that have just been stuck on that kind of just seem out of place. Carbon fiber on the gas filler door. I mean, I guess it works. Just, I would have went just white. I think it's all about balance. You know, we could stick every single piece of carbon fiber. I could put a carbon fiber shark fin antenna on it, but I think you're going too much. So that to me is a little over the top. When we get to the back though, check out the size of this carbon fiber hatch spoiler here. Remember, this is a Sportback. This whole portion is going to rise. Look at that. Look at how curved up that is to give us downforce. Carbon fiber looks good, and this balances out. This balances out what's happening with the hood. It just, wouldn't you agree with me that that white on the roof, if that was just black wrapped, it would look so much sexier, so much cleaner. But I am digging this. This is very aggressive. It looks good. You can see how you have your LED taillights. I love the taillight design. They moved the Stinger badge. Now don't be fooled by this. They actually put this here. This is only available starting on 2020. This being a 2019, this has the Stinger badge you put here. They also put another GT2 badge. Tasteful, nothing too much. And then as we drop down, you do have a beautiful carbon fiber rear diffuser area. I also like. One thing I think I would have went, and if you're gonna go this route, just go ahead and do it, put a custom exhaust on it. And I think when we get to the sound clip, you're probably gonna agree with me. I'm gonna zonk this fake vent thing. I don't know why they do that. It's not real, we know it's not real. Just leave it smooth. But why don't we go ahead, we've seen all the carbon fiber, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this Stinger GT. All right guys, we got the hood popped. I wanna show you the underside of the hood. You can see those functional heat extractors, and you can see that this actually has a riveted badge from the company that makes the carbon fiber hood. Underneath that is this engine cover. It's tasteful, it's got the turbo badge. They went ahead and changed the cap to a nice red anodized oil filler cap. Very clean underneath this hood. So whoever owned this car definitely loved it. You have the massive strut braces here, these aluminum strut braces to stiffen up the front end. But what are we talking about engine-wise? You're looking at that 3.3 liter V6 twin turbo, 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque. It's all routed through that 8-speed automatic transmission. The car weighs around 4,000 pounds. Now, I haven't weighed it with the carbon fiber, but I think it's still gonna be pretty close. Maybe you shaved 200 pounds. I'll give him 200 pounds. So let's say 3,800 pounds. I think that's being generous. 0 to 60, 4.4 seconds, quarter mile, 12.9, top speed, 167 miles an hour. And you know what? MPGs, 18 in the city and 27 on the highway. Why don't we go ahead? We checked out underneath. Like I was saying, I think you're gonna be wishing for a custom exhaust. So let's go ahead and fire up the stock one and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Kia Stinger GT2 trim. I know you're at that point where, like, Joe, I've been looking at these, I've been watching your other reviews, I've been falling in love with them. I don't want a G70, because remember, the Genesis G70 sits on the same chassis, has the same exact engine, rear-wheel drive just like this one. I want the versatility of the liftback, the Sportback feature. How much is this one? Now, brand new, MSRP for one of these is around $50,000. This one with only 4,972 barely broken in miles is right around $40,000. That's with all the extra accessories. So let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. Love the clean Euro style design. Nice soft touch material up top. That brushed aluminum really is spot on the money. Even the way the armrest and everything is done, very clean. The stitch work is great. You do have a small pocket down below for a bottle of Coca-Cola, maybe a chalupa or two. You're not gonna be able to put a Whopper in there, so you might as well just sit on it. Now, when you get to the dash, soft material. Love the soft material here. The brushed aluminum, the way it comes all the way to the center. This is very Mercedes-Benz-esque. It's got that aeronautical design with the AC vents, 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and no, you don't have to pay a yearly service for it. You got your navigation. Here we are in Tampa at Reeves, so I guess the cat's out of the bag if you want to come stalk me. I put it into reverse. You got a 360 cam, and you got a backup cam with trajectory. It's just a little grainy. And then, of course, like we were showing, you could go to different camera views. I'll put it back into park real easily. We drop down. You got your start-stop button. Nice brushed aluminum here for all the controls. You have dual climate controls, which is very, very nice to have. The silver is great. Open up door number 1, wireless charging, USB, aux jack, and 12 volt. Thank you very much, Kia, for all that. Then you're gonna push and it closes. The silver is nice. Look, it hides all the fingerprints. 2 cup holders. This is gonna control that 8-speed automatic transmission. You got your different modes, and then here's my favorite. Heated seats, ventilated seats, and guess what? It's all the same switch. Why do we need 20 different knobs to do one thing or 2 things? It's good. You want ventilated, you pull down, push up, you want heat. I want ventilated. One of my favorite key fobs in the existence of the key fob, it's the bomb detonator design. Boom, you can blow up this Kia in 5 seconds. Just make sure you're not sitting in it. Get a little cubby here for some Jolly Ranchers. Hard as a rock. Hard as a South Korean rock on this armrest, but you open it up, you got your party tray for your pistachios, and then check it out, you got some felt lining in there so you can put a couple of bananas. You're not gonna scratch your banana. What guy wants his banana scratched? I don't know. Put that in the comment section if you want your banana scratched. And then, or maybe you want somebody to scratch your banana. Secondly, you got the GT badge on the headrest, leather, perforated all the way down, nice bolstering, electric assist for both the passenger and the driver. And then I think really the cherry on top would have been a panoramic sunroof, so we'll just call it half a cherry. You do have a sunroof, just not a panoramic style. But overall, nicely done, clean, Euro style interior. Coming over to the business end, I want to show you behind the flat bottom steering wheel over on the driver's side. Coming over. All right, guys, business time. For the business end, you do have 2 memory seat settings, so you can let somebody borrow your Stinger, and then when they screw up where your seat is, you can put it back very easily. One thing that surprised the heck out of me is you actually have carbon fiber around the door striker here for when you close your door. Very, very interesting, and you can see that whoever owned this really loved all the small details. Seats are great, 6 feet tall, plenty of room. I love the bolstering up top, and if you look, there's like barely any wear on this thing. I mean, it only has 5,000 miles, barely. Steering wheel, flat bottom, electric, tilt and telescoping steering, which is great. You do have 2 small plastic paddles to go up and down the 8-speed, and then the dash, really simple and clean. You got a backlit LED tach, speedometer, fuel gauge, and coolant gauge, and then you have that information display where you could toggle through a plethora, a cornucopia, a ton of different information. That's a G meter. We're gonna go use that when we go for the drive. And then to wrap it off, you do have your head-up display. It's simple, it's just the speed and your lane keep assist, but it is nice to have overall. And then I like the way that Kia does a great job down below on the dead pedal and the brake and throttle. It's a nice brushed aluminum, but the large dead pedal is a welcome addition. When you're doing your curvy road driving, or you go do a track day or an autocross event, you want a good place of real estate to put your foot. Not so that you could rest it, but so that you can support yourself. Because as you're going, you want to support yourself. Brake, throttle. Works out great to have enough room. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the back seat. And since we're talking about room, let's see how happy your passengers are going to be in this custom Stinger GT. All right, guys, back seat time in the Stinger GT2. Now, what's wonderful is with the sexy roofline, you don't lose headroom in here, which is great. 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom. My only zonk is plastic on the backs of the seats. And then, of course, those cargo nets. What, am I going fishing? Am I going netting or something? Am I doing deadliest catch? So I'm not really a big fan of those. I guess they cut weight, but we all know that's a bunch of nonsense. Okay, you have your 2 rear AC vents, and look, 12 volt and a USB. We've been in cars that cost twice as much as this one, where you have to go buy 2 cans and a string if you want to communicate to anybody. Here's a car where you have it all at a reasonable price. Leather is great. Seats have a nice angle to them. Oh, what about armrests? Look at that. You got the real estate you need for your arms, 2 cup holders. Flip it back. Let's go ahead, pop the hatch, and see how much room we have in this Stinger GT2. All right, guys, time to check out underneath that hatch area. You push the button, nice electric assist, opens up very quickly. Look at the amount of space you have. That's what makes this so versatile. The heck with your SUV. You could drive this wonderful sedan, have performance, have fun, and have the usability with the seats up 23 cubic feet, fold the seats down 41 cubic feet of space. That's what makes this so great and such a usable car. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the best part. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this carbon fiber modded Stinger GT2 for a spin. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Kia Stinger GT2. Overall, like I have talked about in my other reviews of the Stinger, everything is well laid out in here. The seats are supportive, comfortable, have plenty of bolstering. I know it's a war. It's a war between those who like the iPad style and those who don't like the iPad style infotainment system screens. The good news is this one isn't too high, and they do integrate the lower portion nicely into the main dash area. And when you're looking, it's at the perfect line of sight. The navigation, the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto. What's really neat too is when you go into the different modes, it shows you on the screen. So I'm gonna go back into sport mode. We're gonna leave it on sport mode for this little journey. Keep it in automatic shifting mode, and I wanna do an acceleration test out onto the highway here. So quiet on the interior, looking out the back, it's hard to see, but on throttle, drops down and we are off. Super fast shifts, and like I was saying, 0 to 60 in about 4.3, 4.4 seconds. Looking out the back is already tough on a regular Kia Stinger GT. On this one, it's a little even more rough because that huge spoiler actually takes up almost half the visibility, which was already minimal as it was without it. So just something to be acknowledged about, that you are going to lose some visibility when you add a huge trunklet spoiler like the one that we have on this one. But steering wheel feels great, nice 10 and 2 notches. In sport mode, it's going to change the parameter of how everything behaves, the transmission with the engine and the throttle and the steering. I like the feedback that I get through the steering, which is nice. And the paddles, they're on the smaller side. I wish they were at least they came out to the edge of the wheel a little bit more. I'm not gonna zonk it because they're not metal, because guess what? We've been in cars that are twice, 3 times the cost of this one that have plastic paddles. I just want them to come out to the perimeter of the wheel a little bit more. But everywhere you look, I'm telling you, if I was to blindfold you and not tell you what car we were in, you might think this was one of the German brands, whether it be Mercedes, Audi, or BMW. You probably think it's more Audi or Mercedes. I think I see the least amount of BMW in here. Definitely Audi, and that makes sense because the Audi designers that have been brought over and whatnot. The dash, super clean. You got your analog tach, speedometer, and we have the G-force meter smack wrap right in the center there, which is nice. All right, guys, driving down the road, normal everyday traffic. It's actually very quiet in here, super smooth. I just wish I had a little bit more sound for a performance sedan, especially one that has more carbon fiber on it than a race car. And obviously I'm joking about that, but still a ton of carbon fiber on it. It would be nice to have a little bit more sound coming out of the exhaust, whether it be stock or a custom exhaust. But visibility is great out the front, and you have the versatility of that Sportback design. Brakes feel good. You got a name like Brembo. You know, it's like when you think about this as the first, luxury style performance sports sedan Kia has ever designed, I think they did pretty good for their first time, that's for sure. But we're gonna see how she handles through some twisty bits. But let's do a little acceleration test here. I'm actually gonna use the paddles. So there's a little small gear indicator at the bottom. We're gonna slow down here to a dead stop. First gear, on throttle, here we go. Second gear, third gear, on the brakes. Brakes feel good, downshift. Feels nice. I like the feedback, really like the feedback. That comes around just enough to make life interesting, but definitely the front of the car feels really on the money, and it allows you to have fun. When you want to have fun, you can haul the family around, drop them off, and then go run some twisty bits. Or hell, man, take the kids through some twisty bits. Show them the excitement of driving a car through the fun turns and really sharing that whole experience. All right, guys, one more time for you. We're in second gear, on throttle. Here we go. On the brakes. Downshift, nice. So it does a really great job of getting the traction to the ground. I don't know what's going on, if it maybe this one with the 20-inch wheels, it feels a little different than the last Stinger GT2 that we drove, and that one was totally stock. So my guess is either the larger diameter wheel or whatever tires are on this particular one aren't giving me as good a feedback, especially on the back of the car. I felt like the back wanted to slide. It felt like it was sliding more than what it really was, and it didn't make me feel confident. And I know that this does not have the stock tires on it, obviously, so I would really like to see if we were able to switch this back to the stock wheel setting, if that would come back. But that's just something that I just kind of felt along that little twisty bit there. Obviously, I'm driving this car for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so I haven't gotten totally used to it. So it could just be a thing where I just got to get used to the different wheel and tire size. But it just didn't feel as connected as the previous GT2 that I did. But still a ton of fun, still handled great, and the price point is there. That's really where you're coming out on top. And if you want something that looks like 3 times the cost of what it really is, I think this one with the extra carbon fiber especially really checks off those boxes. But hopefully this gave you a great overall feel of the Stinger GT2 with the mods that have been done to this one. We're gonna wrap this one up, get back to Reeves Subaru, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Reeves Subaru. I definitely gotta thank LD and the rest of the crew getting us access to my first ever, I've never seen one of these, modded Stinger GT2. I think for the most part, very tastefully done. There's a few things that I would probably peel off if I was to buy this particular car, but rear-wheel drive, twin turbocharged fun. I mean, I don't know how many other ways you could cut the value that you get with a Stinger GT, especially that GT2 trim. But if it's cars like these that you want to see on Rady's Rides, where people are doing some interesting modifications that you've never seen and you want me to bring it to you, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Victor, working that camera. He was even confused when we first saw this car. He was saying, why? Why would somebody mod this? But now he understands and he sees and he likes some of it. So there you go, Victor. There's variety in everything that we see, especially life being the variety, which is wonderful. But thank you, Victor, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.